Hey you guys, this is gonna be a reading on the closure you didn't know that you needed for a connection. So yeah, it might be tough, it might be interesting, I don't know. I don't even know how long the reading itself is gonna be, but I felt called to do this topic. Lexi DeLeo recently did one and I watched it, and to be honest, I didn't expect anything because I feel like I've done enough work on myself so as not to need any closure, but I just felt called to watch it, and then I felt called to do my own reading because in the reading that she gave, I actually had ended up with a really decent pile where I didn't really need closure from anyone, but I still felt like doing my own reading just in case I actually ended up picking up my own piles. And then I don't know, sometimes you need to hear it from your own mouth to actually believe it. So yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen here basically is what I'm saying, but please, keep in mind what resonates, what doesn't resonate, maybe for another person, all of that jazz. And let's begin basically. Okay, closure on a connection. The cards we're using for the picking are the Bad Girl Tarot cards, not mine, but I still have them. So yeah, and then everything else is pre-picked, pre-shuffled, all of that jazz. But yeah, closure on a connection. Ooh. Closure on a connection. Pile 1. Well, that was fast. Pile 2. Thank you. Jesus. And then pile 3. Thank you. Low. They all fell in reverse, so I think I might just take them upright. But for pile 1 we have the 9 of Swords, and this is what it looks like. For pile 2 we have Strength, and this is what it looks like. And then for pile 3 we have the 10 of Pentacles, and this is what it looks like. I hope that's clear, and I hope you pick based on your intuition. But yeah, whatever the case is, feel free to pick whatever you feel drawn to, basically. Again, this is going to be a closure on a connection, and I am gonna start with pile 1. Cute, interesting. 9 of Swords. Okay, well, this could have been a connection that has left you mind boggled, physically just hunting for answers in your head, constantly thinking about this person, about how the situation ended, about how to fix the situation potentially as well, and just how this could have gone differently, basically. There's been a lot of thinking here. Almost like an indulgence in misery. That's a really bad way to put it, but like with the 9 of Swords, this is someone who purposefully thinks and thinks and thinks, and sometimes their mind just doesn't let them think anything else other than the negative things that could spiral out of control. And it does spiral out of control with the 9 of Swords here. But I think the trick here, or the key to healing instead, is not necessarily stopping the thinking, because you can never actually suppress emotions, but to actually sit with them and physically accept them, basically, as a condition of the human condition, I guess. But the sooner you accept a feeling, and by that I really mean bringing it into awareness and then just working through it in the present moment, just spending at least 2 minutes with this feeling at first, the faster it kind of dissipates of its own, in its own right, basically. It's just the sooner you face something, the more you realize, actually, this thing doesn't hurt as much when you face it head on. Rather, the only reason, to be fair, it kind of hurts when we don't face these feelings is because we don't face them. It's the fact that we run away from them and we make things harder for ourselves, and that's not to put everything on the individual to fix everything and stuff. But the truth is that we can't help ourselves when it comes to situations like these. We kind of just don't, because we don't have the coping skills, or because we weren't taught to, and again, not having the coping skills, and then also not having the time, not giving in the time, life itself taking its circumstances elsewhere, all of that jazz, basically. But yeah, this was a connection that really left you reeling, in the sense that your mind was constantly on it and you just didn't know where to go. I don't know if this would be a romantic connection or a non-romantic connection, but whatever the case is, there was a lot of thought put into this. Not necessarily in the best way either. First card we have is from the Romance Angels, and we have Keep an Open Mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So the closure you need here is that maybe this person was completely different from you. You didn't have the same cultural background. You didn't have what is the word? The expectations were completely different on both sides of the coin, basically, from all parties involved. There were just a lot of differences here. Not that couldn't be reconciled, but there were outside forces, things like that, basically, that prevented you two from actually conceiving a healthy, happy connection here. And that again could be romantic or platonic, but whatever the case is, this relationship seems like keeping an open mind. Again, there's a lot of mind stuff going on here. It's always about the mind, it's always about thought. So maybe there was not enough love to keep it together, and there was mostly thinking limitations, things that just kept you separate, or you just couldn't come eye to eye, mind to mind. You couldn't communicate properly, maybe, for whatever reason. This doesn't have to be an overly negative thing, you know. Maybe one person was doing something that the other person didn't like, and well, that's how relationships get broken, I guess. The fantasy itself, two people usually, or two parties, like, or however many parties, whatever, they keep to the same fantasy, but when one person deviates from the fantasy, then the other is going to be like, hold on, what's going on here? So one person basically deviated from the fantasy first, I'm assuming here. But yeah, someone didn't open their mind, someone kept the mind closed and let the differences control the situation here, basically. As in, they gave in to limitations, they gave in to negativity, potentially to someone else controlling what they're thinking as well, because this doesn't necessarily have to come from the person themselves. All that thinking, sometimes it's controlled, sometimes it's the circumstances, it's the surroundings, the environment you are in, that also plays a part in why a connection will go down. So again, familial stuff, separating two parties, things like that, whatever this is, basically. This was a heavy connection, especially on the mind. First tarot cards we have are from the Sexual Magic Tarot, and we have Temperance and the Ten of Wands. Okay, again, couldn't reconcile the differences with the Temperance card here. I feel like the best thing in this case, with this pile itself, would be time, because Temperance does speak of time. It's making things equal, balancing them out, but it takes two to tango, and sometimes when another person doesn't want to tango anymore, you gotta untangle yourself, basically, from that kind of energy as well. So keeping an open mind is definitely important here, but also thinking about different things, thinking about how to for some of you, please yourselves, because I feel like you were giving in far too much to the or same with the Ten of Wands, actually, giving in far too much to this connection and then not keeping enough for yourself, so not giving enough to yourself, so over giving to another person, basically, here. But yeah, closure. I mean, it's run its course. Ten of Wands is the end, basically, and Temperance, it does speak of healing. So the course has already been done. It's already been taken. Next cards we have are from the Weight Cat Tarot, and you actually had an extra card with these one. Well, from another pile, but we have the Four. Again, finished. It's done, finito. Something else is starting here. So yeah, the Sun and the King of Swords. Okay, the closure you needed. I feel like you have become more intent on actually healing yourself and helping yourself and choosing partners, but also to surround yourself with people, i.e. platonic friends, you know, whatever. You surround yourself with people who actually have healthy boundaries now. You are someone who, even though you know that the universe, you know, circumstances, life itself can hurt you, you're still open to new experiences. This cat is just, well, a fool, really, playing with a bee here, but it knows that there is a chance to get stung, but at the same time, you're gonna take that chance to play. You're gonna take that chance, and you're gonna trust yourself that, you know, things will work out the way they're meant to, and they're gonna go in your favor, or whatever the case is here. But for the most part, this is very happy cards. The Sun and the Fool suggests that you haven't given up entirely, you haven't given up hope and things like that. Also with Temperance as well. This is to say that you are doing the healing, basically. I am getting that this is more about you and not really this other person that has hurt you. So the closure here, I feel like you've already had it. You've already gone through the pain with the kid. Oh my god, I'm getting heavy deja vu here. But you've already gone through the pain that was necessary to mold you into the person that... I feel like I've literally done this reading before. This is so creepy. And I've said the exact same words. But... again, I really do feel like you've done the work here. You are the king of... I want to say pentacles, but this is obviously swords. But you're the king, you're the shining star at the top with your freaking little crown over there. You've been doing the work on yourself to actually heal everything that has transpired. And it's actually funny that this is obviously the swords, because we did have the Nine of Swords here, and also the keep an open mind. So again, this is about not overthinking any longer, letting the past kind of die, basically. Letting the past be in the past, taking all those swords and stabbing them in shit. Not in the back of anybody really, but just letting them rest, kind of. Letting bygones be bygones. And choosing to actually help yourself mentally, which really means having healthier habits, basically, in terms of like how you actually think about yourself. So the way you talk about yourself now has changed, and to be honest, I don't know if you still think about this person or this connection in general. You may do, maybe it's a passing thought and you're just like, haha, this is what happened before. And well, for some of you anyway, because for some of you this is still, I don't think it's fresh, to be honest, but for a few of you here, this connection has been like way back in the past, and you can now laugh about it, and not really laugh at the situation itself, but more at what it's taught you and how you've become a more sufficient person in terms of the way you think about yourself, and how you're basically more independent, I feel like saying here. Because the King of Swords is one of the most independent kings. Swords is literally air. You have so much space around you. You're aware of, what is it? Spatial awareness, basically. So you're aware of the way you use your body. You're aware of the way you use your words as well to influence others as well. So I feel like you have come to a conclusion that you are a great communicator for some of you here. But also that you can communicate your feelings, your truth. And that no one's going to take that away from you. So building healthy relationships here with temperance as well. With like-minded individuals, but also in general. Assuming the best about yourself and then creating that into reality. So creating relationships that actually benefit you. Yeah. I feel like the closure here has been a lesson on how to communicate about yourself, but also how to get what you want from other people. Not in a freaking egotistical, psychopathic way, but in the sense that how to actually be present in reality and communicate with other people so that you get your needs met, basically. Because your needs need to be met. Everyone's needs need to be met, but obviously when two people come together, or however many people have come together, obviously, and the fantasy isn't there, or the fantasy is a thing to be played out, and it's like a 5-minute thing where one person is just like, now, oh no, this is it, I'm done, like this doesn't align with me anymore, basically. And I know I keep saying using the word fantasy, but that's what I'm aligned with right now. It does feel like a fantasy. I feel like every single human currently, like we're all conspiring in some kind of plan, but this plan really, it does feel like a fantasy. Yes, it's reality, but I don't know, calling it a fantasy sometimes does help, I guess, because you are creating it, and at the same time your environment is also helping to create that, I guess. But yeah, either way, I do feel like you've become a better communicator, and now you stand up for yourself and everything that you deserve, basically. So before, if you were used, abused, or you just didn't know how to communicate and talk about yourself in a positive way, especially where it came to like other people and defending yourself, now you know. You've become someone who is very clear on their boundaries, and now no one can actually overstep them unless you let them, and you're not gonna let them with the King of Swords here. Or the Sun either. I mean, you may have been a fool in the past, but there's no coming back from that. Jesus. You're the Emperor now, basically, is what I'm trying to say. The card is not here, no, but like to be a fool at first, like you learn from your lessons, and to be fair, that's not even a negative thing on you. It's more that now you know how to have fun, but also be protected whilst having fun. Oh, that sounds wrong, but yeah, there's protection, basically. There's protection at the back and adventure at the front, kind of thing. So there's security. You feel secure enough to be able to allow yourself to play with the Fool here and the Sun, but you know that ultimately you will be secure no matter the relationship you actually enter. So maybe the closure here that you needed is that you are ready for a new relationship here, or with if this is romantic anyway, maybe you are able to connect with other people more easily now in a romantic way. Maybe you already are in a relationship as well. 14 on the clock when I said that. But whatever the case is, this has been a relationship that has run its course. I lost my train of thought. it run its course, but it's also done now because you have grown from it. So I feel like this is touching on a very old wound that you've managed to patch up and heal, basically. or you're still in the process of healing it, but like for the most part, you're at the top of the tree here. Next cards we have are from the Rainbow Tarot, and we have the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, still standing tall, still standing your ground. Sorry. Even though things may not look the best, sometimes you have to look after yourself to the point where, sorry, not to the point, but even when things are hard, you still manage to look after yourself properly, basically. You're still up for the fight. You're still doing the things that need to be done. So this is to say that you understand your value, especially with the Queen of Pentacles here, and you know what needs to be done with discipline, even if you don't feel like doing it, basically. So that means that if you need to cut out people from your life who haven't served you with the King of Swords here, you will do it. We have the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Wands, and then also the Nine of Swords there as well. So it's just like you've done your fair share of what is it? You've played your part. The battle's done, basically. It's been at the end for a while, but yeah, now you kind of get to bear the fruit of actually being secure in yourself. And there's a bunny here, and it's currently the year of the rabbit as well. So I feel like currently you guys are connecting with a lot of security, both in yourselves and also around yourselves. But yeah, I feel like better times are coming. Spring is here already, basically, and better times are freaking definitely coming. So if there has been, I mean, there definitely has been the type of connection that's left you reeling, obviously, but I don't know, in a way that just kind of broke you down, basically, and you had to rebuild yourself from the ground up, especially with the Queen of Pentacles and the Sun here. You had to water yourself into a new being, almost like a plant. You've done it successfully, and I feel like the closure you need, you surpassed it already. You don't really need the closure. There's nothing here stopping you from living your best life anymore, basically, or at least that's what I'm getting from the cards, to be honest. So if you're still in the process of healing, continue, because this is where you will be getting to. Last cards we have are from the normal Rider-Waite, and we have the Page of Pentacles here, the Ten of Cups, and Justice. Like I said, you've done the what is it, due diligence. You've done the thing. Now it's time to actually play, to understand your blessings, and to actually go for what you want. The Page of Pentacles is a small offering, but it's one of the only pages that actually well, to be fair with the Knights as well, but it does what it's supposed to. It goes into a experiences life for a creative perspective, basically, but it's bound to work because what is it called? It's a pentacle, therefore it's a behavior. So when you set your mind to do something, you will do it, basically, even if it feels like you can't do it. With whatever card I used before, with the Nine of Wands, even though you were tired, you were still able to focus on your creativity, even if it's by force sometimes, because again, sometimes you gotta force yourself to care for yourself. There are those times where it's like really bad, but I feel like you're stepping into a time here where there will be more for you to experience in a more positive way. There will be more for you to learn through love rather than through pain. And the just desserts, it's here, basically. So the life you're living currently, and again, apply how it applies with some people here, because obviously it will get better. So if it's not really good right now, it will be getting even better, basically. But for most of you, I do feel like there is security now around you. You are building your empire as well, maybe brick by brick, slowly, all of that jazz, but you're still going where you need to go, and that's towards happiness here, towards like familial happiness, where it feels like you actually belong, like you're happy, present, where you'll be presenting an image of security to other people as well. So please be careful not to only present the image, but actually also feel it inside you. So make sure that it's actually, you know, secure on a foundation, in a foundational way. But to be honest, from the get-go, the closure here is that you went from this all the way to this. Like that's the disparity, the difference here is immense, basically, and intense too. So again, working on yourself has paid off, and it continues to pay off, because it has more blessings in store for you. So the closure here really is that you've made it. You've gone so much further than what you expected yourself to go from when this happened, basically. When this connection was disrupted or stopped by other people, whatever the case has been here, it was kind of necessary. I hate using the word, because nothing is ever really, it has to happen or whatever, but at the same time, I do feel sometimes like we're test bunnies or something like that, and things are just meant to happen and the way they're meant to happen, and then we have to find a way to grow out of it, or grow into it as well, or just change things about ourselves to be able to accept, you know, reality being a blessed actual opportunity to actually be present and live. But you've done it. That's it. And it only keeps getting better. The better it gets, the better it gets. That's a Teal Swan quote thing. And I think when she was actually doing that, she was just saying how once it gets better, it doesn't mean that it's gonna get worse. It's just the better it gets, the better it gets. It continues to get better. Basically, you're more able to deal with emotions from the past because you have the capacity to actually deal with them now. That kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you on that note. Thank you for being here. And if this resonated, feel free to stick around. But yeah, thank you for being here. Pile 2, you have chosen strength, and what I'm getting from this, the closure that you need, is you making peace with yourself, you making peace with your demons, with your own demons here, because she is she is hugging a freaking panther type being. What do you even call this? A black cat. To be honest, it looks brown to me, but I don't, or like a purpley brown maroony type color. But yeah, you've been making peace with yourself, but also with your more oh god, what is that? The root chakra here, because there's a lot of shades of red here. Yes, this is more purpley, but it's like a very dark browny red black type of color. So I am getting root chakra vibes here, that you're making peace with the physical reality of your being, but also with feeling safe, because the root chakra is about everything to do with safety, basically. Especially when you know, you need to feel like you can create things and all of that jazz and be pretty and blah blah. I don't know where I'm going with this, but the fact is that you need to feel safe on a foundational level first, and I feel like that's what you've been working on. And the closure that this connection will be bringing you is that you are actually safe where you are, hopefully anyway. But the idea that I'm trying to give you, it's not even an idea, the gift I guess of this is that you are stronger than you think you are. Basically, you can handle it, but at the same time you're handling it because you need to, you know, face yourself, help yourself, all of that stuff. And part of it is necessary, but also you're doing the work basically to see yourself clearly and to actually live, even if it is hard. Because dealing with what is it called, root chakra issues, that's a lot of fear-based energy. So some of you here are putting yourselves in situations, sorry, where you actually get to face that fear in a safe environment, so that it can just be released from you in a safe way, basically. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be an interesting reading on safety, where you actually deepen your connection to yourself, basically, for yourself, so that you for some of you, so that you don't get used again or abused, because again, safety, well, the opposite of safety can be quite bad, to be honest. So I don't know, we'll see what this has to say. But your first card is from the Romance Angels, and we have very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So decisions you have to make here. The closure here, maybe this was a recent connection and it left you in a space where you didn't know. Well, for some of you, maybe you were dating someone and you were living with them or something like that, and now they're telling you to move out or something like that, or you were in a situation where where the rug seemed to be pulled from underneath you, basically, like someone just took something away from you, and then now you have to fend for yourself, that kind of thing. So this could also be about codependency. We've all been there, we're all there, I guess, because you can never really be truly independent, because we are human species and all of that jazz. We all depend on each other, but obviously there's intervals, there's levels to that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like you'll be deciding what to do with your life very soon, honestly, immediately, in that sense. But yeah, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Interesting. I already feel like you're deciding. I really do. You're deciding to not give up on yourself, to actually trust yourself, to actually bring the strength towards you, to grow from it and whatever has happened, basically. I feel like some of you are bringing down the fort, if that even makes any sense to anyone. But breaking barriers, breaking generational curses, all of that kind of stuff. Whatever people like to call that stuff, basically. So that's the language I have for it now, anyway. But yeah, healing yourself from a very physical perspective, but like from deep within. First cards we have are from the Sexual Magic Tarot cards, I mean. But yeah, we have the High Priestess and the Nine of Pentacles. Damn. Okay, well, I feel like the closure you needed here is that this connection, when it left, you learned how to trust yourself, and how to trust yourself monetarily as well, with money, with finances, things like that. So when this connection left, or if it's a current thing and it's leaving now, you're learning how to trust in your own skills to build the reality you want, especially where money is concerned, where finances are concerned, where your relationship with physical reality is concerned, basically, because this is self-sufficient energy, being able to care for yourself on a very physical level, not on an emotional level, but physical, like actually looking after yourself, and what do you call it, jobs, things like that, basically. So I feel like this connection definitely tested that. Maybe this person called you mature or things like that, and to be honest, maybe you were too young to look after yourself properly. Maybe, again, these are just speculations, so please apply how it applies, or don't if it doesn't. But yeah, there has been a lot of growth here in terms of how to help yourself. And I feel like very soon you might actually meet someone who meets your expectations as well here. Interesting. If this is a love type connection, because it could be any type of connection, to be fair, but there will be someone you'll be connecting with here. Well, to be fair, it doesn't have to be love, but I feel like you're making the decisions now to actually help yourself, and that will attract people that are also helping themselves, not to your energy, but to their own energy. You know, people that are like-minded individuals, basically. That's where I'm gonna leave it. But yeah, okay, next cards we have are from the Weird Cat Tarot, and we have the Knight of Cups in reverse and the Page of Swords. Okay, closure. I feel like maybe this person wasn't able to give to you to the level that you expected them to give. Maybe you were overgiving, and so you couldn't see that they were actually draining you, and you were also not helping yourself in that situation. I have been in that situation. Please, I don't mean to be rude or anything like that, but sometimes when you learn to, what is the word, when you when you come from a background, basically, where familial, whatever the case is, where you're born or taught to be a people pleaser anyway, it's hard to look after yourself, to take care of yourself in a way that you don't feel guilty for taking enough for yourself, because other people are constantly begging and asking, and all of that jazz. So maybe you learned to accept crumbs from other people so that you can actually live with them, basically, and accommodate for their own well, success here, because this cat is technically, well, scratching the tree, but climbing, that kind of thing. So maybe you had to deal with someone who was constantly kind of hot and cold, didn't really know how to express their emotions, so you felt a bit like it was a volatile connection where again, your emotions weren't validated necessarily, or it was inconsistent. The validation was so inconsistent that you kind of got addicted to this person, and that's psychology, to be honest. It does happen. Some people obviously use it for malicious with malicious intent, but for the most part, some people don't even know what the hell they're doing, which is why people are walking around accepting crumbs and things like that, and then not trusting themselves. And again, I've been in the situation too, and I'm currently doing the best I can to live my best life on my own, though. So I am scared that if I do get into a relationship, I will revert back to a codependent, people-pleasing person who doesn't know how to look after themselves. And I feel like I'm telling you this because you may be in a similar position. Oh my days, this feels so embarrassing. But I said in the previous part how I ended it, but the better it gets, the better it gets here. So the more you expose yourself to situations where you actually help yourself, especially financially, but also in terms of just looking after yourself properly, the less people are going to be able to step over you, basically. So if you have overgiven before, there's so much chance for you now to actually heal that that aspect of yourself that has decided that it wants to overgive. Well, sorry, well, I mean, I guess it is a decision in the end, if we look at it in that way. More a decision that you had to do because it was forced on you. But when we're young, we do I would say silly things, but I mean, yes, silly things, yes, but at the same time, it's not really, I don't know, it's more survival tactics, basically. That's what I'm gonna leave it as. But yeah, the closure here is that this person may have left you feeling like you couldn't depend on yourself, neither emotionally nor what do you call it, financially speaking. So you had to depend on them, but they were really inconsistent, and they were kind of small as well, so whatever they had to give you wasn't gonna be enough anyway. But even then, I feel like you might have been settling, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And the closure here is to know that you are big enough, you can help yourself. For God's sakes, we have the freaking strength card here as well, strength card. But it's just like, You have faced your demons, basically. If this was a, if you want to call it that way, basically. But you have faced enough, and you actually know that you are bigger than, what's it called? I don't mean to boost your ego to the point where you become, you know, manipulative or anything like that, but it's just like, or too big-headed and all of that jazz. But at the same time, I do feel like maybe you were settling because you thought that was the best you could have, because you wanted to emulate your parents or guardians or whatever relationship that you saw that had to transpire. Maybe you took it on yourself to heal something, because that's what we do as humans. We try to heal our parents' connections by going in the same type of connections, or similar type, I guess. And then trying to heal that situation by doing exactly the same thing, but that doesn't help. Or and then constantly going again and again and again for more, as if it's not gonna change. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You actually have to change the entire dynamic with yourself to be able to heal a connection like that. And you don't even heal it in the end, you just accept it for what it is and move the fuck on, basically. Sorry, that sounds really rude, but and it's not even aimed at you, it's more ah shit. But anyways, my mother is dead now, so I can't even blame her for her shitty little, what do you even call them, actions. I get reactions rather, because I don't even I don't know, very personal there. But I feel like we do tend to collect a lot of information from parents and parental figures and things like that, and then we try to pass them off as our own when they're not. But then healing that is freaking hard, and it's just like, bruh, I've had enough. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you've looked within so deep that you now know what you're looking for in other people besides yourself, but also you've looked to the point that you found yourself in yourself, and you know how to be secure in yourself without accepting crumbs or other little things, basically. Love bombing, and then what is it called? Yeah, this does give me that vibe, kind of love bombing followed by crumbs, and then that creates the whole addiction process of being addicted to someone who is who's inconsistent, who just gives and then disappears completely out of your life, like what, basically. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is the closure here is that you have learned how to trust yourself properly, to face your demons for yourself, not for somebody else. But yeah, look after yourself properly. Is on the physical level, the root chakra is definitely pinging over here. It's red hot, like literally. But yeah, next cards we have, and you have extra from the Rainbow Tarot, and we have the Ten of Pentacles. Lovely stuff. Generational curses, all of that jazz, fixed, healed. You're doing the work, you're helping yourself, attracting monetary abundance to yourself, just working for yourself to actually achieve all of the things that you didn't have when you were younger, I guess, in this connection as well. But also just, again, I am getting that you're working on yourself, like to the point where I honestly feel like there's a familial thing here, that it's not just about like a romantic connection, but an actual connection to do with like maybe your mother or your father or parental figure in general. But you're not the same, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe if they weren't ready to work for themselves, or maybe they worked their asses off and they suffered and all of that jazz, and then they received nothing for it. But I feel like you found a way, or you're finding a way currently, where you're trusting yourself enough to know that you will be you know, accessing abundance, receiving, working, but making it fun for yourself, jumping out of the what's it called, you have to suffer to be able to receive, because that's not the case. It never was. If you have to suffer to receive, then what the fuck is the point, basically? But I really do feel like you're learning that. You've already learned that for some of you as well. So you're starting to actually trust that abundance is on its way to you. You create it by actually having fun, basically. Fortune smiles on you when you have pleasure in your life, when you actually feel pleased with yourself. So you're learning how to please yourself, but that also, for whatever reason, is garnering attention, but also monetary abundance for you, basically. The other cards we have from this deck are L'Amoureuse, so the lovers. And then the King of Wands. Amazing stuff. Making a decision to trust yourself, to go after the things you want confidently. But also, again, there's a lot of trust here. You've built that trust for yourself. You've built the confidence. You're working on it. And these cards give me very pinky red vibes, but also just, they do make me feel, well, I guess, yeah, feel strength. But again, with the root chakra stuff, working on that kind of mentality that you deserve blessings, and at the very core of yourself you are safe. Stability is literally what do you call it, it's a stable mode, stable mode, duh. But it's given, is what I'm trying to say. And it really is. If you were actually to really deeper. I don't even know how to say it in normal language, basically, but less slang and all of that jazz. But if you were to really think about it, basically, realistically, you would realize that there's stability everywhere. You are stable in yourself just as you are because you are present. Like, I don't even know if that makes sense, but if you like really think about it, the concept is there. Like, you're actually stable as you are. But I feel like as humans, we what is it, we house anxiety and all of these other emotions and things like that, which are fine. It's just we don't really know how to heal from, not even heal from them, because sometimes there isn't really a need to heal, but how to embody them properly so that we don't feel like we're overwhelmed or like we're drowning in our own bodies and things like that. But what I'm trying to say is the security here in your reading is really present, especially where money is concerned, but also in general, the way you work on yourself to become secure, to go back to feeling secure rather, is really important. So maybe this connection helped you to realize that you actually have more power than you think you do. Again, with the strength card. Yeah, some of you may be a Leo. I don't know. King of Wands, the strength card also Leo energy. Well, that's what it gives me anyway, because King of Wands could be Aries, I'm not sure. But yeah, with the lovers here, that's Gemini energy. But in general, I am getting that the sign doesn't matter, to be fair, but what I'm getting from these is that you have been working on feeling more protective of yourself, but also creating abundance from yourself, because you know now that you are actually secure. So whilst this connection brought down the walls and uh, the entire tree, basically, it brought everything down. It kind of brought into perspective how strong you are once I left, for some of you, and how you can actually depend on yourself to create the reality you wish to have for yourself, basically, and to make decisions that actually serve you, with both with the King of Wands and the Lovers. Because yes, this could be about attracting someone who is a more Leo-like, or this previous person could have been a Leo or whatever, really. But I don't know, there's confidence at your back now, at your beck and call as well. You are confident and you do trust yourself, basically. So this connection showed you how to do that. And maybe it wasn't the connection itself, you really showed yourself how to trust yourself, and you had to go through that breakage and everything in point in time and things like that. So you had to heal that. But I feel like this connection brought to the forefront what you couldn't do before, basically, in the sense that you had to learn how to take care of yourself without depending on people who were literally also inconsistent. So they weren't even helping you in the first place. Ay. Okay. Last cards we have are from the original Rider-Waite, and we have the Four of Cups. Having enough choice here to actually abandon whatever it is you thought you wanted before. Being bored with the new choices the universe offers you as well, for some people here. Not really seeing the capacity, the blessing in something. Seeing something as a curse instead of a blessing as well. Kind of being bored again. But yeah, I feel like you're at a point in life where some of you may not have seen the blessing this relationship was, because it really was a fucking curse, but at the same time it brought you so many gifts in terms of how you face yourself now and how comfortable you are with facing yourself, basically. Six of Cups and the Four of Wands. Okay. Maybe this was a soulmate connection. Maybe you thought you were gonna marry this person, for some of you, if this was a romantic type of thing. Maybe this was a connection that started when you were a child, and maybe it was actually familial and it was something to do with the family, because we do have the Ten of Pentacles as well. So the family was involved, or too many people were involved. Whatever the case is here, though, I feel like you have been making decisions to help yourself, and again, very, very soon, making more decisions to help yourself, actually choosing the direction you want to go in, and going in a very healthy direction too. This is straight towards well, yeah, it is the marriage card, and you don't have to prescribe to marriage or believe in that, but it is healthy, like in terms of what it actually means, you know, the happy family, the everything that someone could ever want, or at least what the society seems to sell anyway, the image of the happy family with the romance and the kids and all of that jazz. But so if you forget the image that they try to sell you, I guess, so if this isn't about marriage or family or whatever it is, the dreams that you have, you're making them happen for yourself, and you're doing so by actually facing your younger self and helping your younger self too. So for some of you, that means meeting your inner child in your dreams, helping yourself in that way, and actually making your dreams a reality as well. But you may not be seeing actually that you have been doing that for a while anyway. You may have been focusing on all of the negatives, and for some of you actually you've been trying to heal so many things that you've already out healed yourself. Does that even make any sense? Like, you've done so much in the past and in the present to actually help yourself that you've surpassed every goal that you've had basically. I really want to say there's nothing more to heal, but there probably is. There's always something to heal, to be honest. And you never really end healing it. But I feel like with this card here, you do so much healing that you kind of get bored and you're just like, what's next? What's the next thing I need to heal? Maybe some of you have become a bit addicted to being healed. I do want to say that can happen, but please be careful not to, what is it called? Experience the burnout stuff, but also chasing some why are you healing basically, because there could come a point where you're just like, oh, I've healed all of this for myself, but now I feel like I'm addicted to healing and like I need something to heal. So be careful not to make other people your projects, or also finding something else in your life that is a project and something like that basically, and then trying to heal that too. I don't know, I feel like I have done that personally, so I that's why I'm speaking about it, I guess. But also finding new ways to communicate, new ways to actually entertain yourself, new hobbies, things like that, to take off your mind from specifics, especially where healing is concerned, because sometimes you can do too much basically, not in the sense that it's bad, but in the sense that you see how usually on Twitter, to be honest, because that's where people mostly talk about that stuff, but they're just like, you heal so much you're interested in literally no one, so you're disinterested. Be careful of not doing that basically, because there's still lessons to be had, there's still love to be had basically, and you don't really need to go through tough lessons with other people to know that you are loved and stuff like that. So please don't give up on love or anything like that basically. Still have hope, because it is coming towards you. But and it may feel like a soulmate connection too for some of you here, but again with the lovers as well. But yeah, there has been a lot of healing here. That's all I gotta say basically. And very soon you have to make a decision on where to go next. And for some of you, this may actually be literal in the sense that you may be moving, I was gonna say continent for a second, but geez, country, maybe even jobs, something like that, something physical that you may be moving from. There may be something like that coming up for you. But yeah, the closure here is that you have you've outdone yourself basically, making healthier decisions for yourself. And I do get that this has been more of a familial vibe type of connection, but whatever the case is, really, you've healed a lot and you have become safer in your own body basically. So the root chakra is pinking hot, red hot, like a pingu for whatever reason came to mind. But yeah, someone might be watching Pingu. I don't know. But yeah, whatever the case is, strength is on your side, because you are on your side. That's exactly what you've learned from this connection here, that you are on your side and you matter exactly the way you are. So yeah, thank you for being here. Feel free to stick around if this resonated, and please let me know. But yeah, whatever the case, thank you. See you in the next one, or previous one, I guess. But yeah, pile 3, you have chosen the 10 of Pentacles, and this connection may have taught you well, a lot about yourself, a lot about family in general, family values, how to value yourself in a family setting, how to be part of a team as well. So this could actually be closure on familial issues. That sounds really weird, to be honest, but interesting. There is a treat here, and she's just playing with the dog, basically giving it a treat. I usually think of that as torture, not gonna lie, because just give the dog the damn treat, basically. but yes, they do require mental stimulation as well to be able to be happy and all of that jazz. So the dog probably actually loves the torture per se. But okay, this could have been a connection where you did feel like you were tortured, potentially, in terms of teasing, things like that. It just felt like no matter how much you gave, the other person maybe wanted more. But we'll see what that transpires to be, basically. First card we have is from the Romance Angels, and we have Deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. False self mask. Jesus, that's funky. What a way to say it. But okay, someone was being untrustworthy, distrustful. That too, like, both go hand, well, they don't go hand in hand, but maybe they didn't trust you and then they couldn't even trust themselves, really. But yeah, someone here was wearing the wrong mask to the wrong party. I don't know what that means, but okay. Okay, I am getting that maybe you thought you were gonna have the rest of your life with this person. Maybe it was familial, maybe it was romantic, whatever the case is. The deception fell. The what is it? The rose-colored glasses dropped. They broke. Whatever the case really could have been. Yeah, the mask fell off. Someone took off their mask and showed their true colors. And that was a bit like, oh, holy shit, how where did that come from, what happened here, that kind of deception basically. So it must have been a serious relationship. I mean, every relationship has its, seriousness and all of that jazz, but this could have been a relationship that was very close to you, where you didn't expect deception. Not that deception should ever be expected or accepted, but yikes. Okay, next cards we have are from the Sexual Magic Tarot, and we have the Ace of Swords in reverse, deception again, and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so you left someone behind who was deceiving you potentially, who didn't know how to communicate, who wasn't very clear on their boundaries either. You may have you may have given this person a lot of chances, because the Ace of Swords in reverse and then the Five of Pentacles, it does speak of, this is not abrupt. So I feel like you've given this person many chances and they couldn't change, they couldn't do what you wanted them to do basically. And sometimes that in itself is unhealthy, because if you're with someone and you're constantly trying to change them, then are you really with that someone basically? But also, are they with you? Because if you're constantly trying to change them, then they are probably also in a space type mind. What do you call it? Space of mind, space of mind, where they can't trust themselves either. They don't know who they are, so they allow other people's projections to force their way into into their own system, and then they can't even trust their own selves or the decisions of the other part. Whatever this case is, basically, this probably was a relationship where I can't lie, it gives me immature vibes, or two people who didn't really know what they were doing necessarily, in terms of I just feel like the thought process here was not there when this relationship was going on. Or someone abused someone's okay, so one person abusing their power in this relationship, basically, in the way in terms of how they communicate, or not speaking up for themselves as well, with the Ace of Pentacle swords in reverse as well, kind of thing. Feeling like you would be you or them, whatever. Well, actually you, because this is about closure for your relationship, or a connection rather. But maybe you felt that if you spoke up about the dishonesty here, the deception, the things that you expected from this relationship, what you wanted to happen, but it wasn't happening. Maybe you thought that if you did speak about that thing, if you let yourself dream about the things you wanted, and then spoke on them and wanted them to become reality, you thought that this person would pull the rug from underneath you and actually not give you anything that you wanted. But then, I don't know, I feel like relationships like that are, well, unhealthy in nature, that's for sure. But at the same time, you get stuck in the cycle where you feel like you can't have better, because you overstayed potentially. And that is not me, me trying to give a part or be rude or anything like that. It's the course of some relationships, to be honest. The younger you have a relationship like this, the better it is for you, because the faster you learn about how to actually uphold your boundaries, and become who you want to be, but also grow as part of yourself, and then have a healthy connection on the side with someone who's also looking after themselves. So I don't know when this connection was had, but it is giving me a bit of like deception-y, well, obviously, but immature kind of vibes, where it was like a very young connection, or maybe the connection itself didn't get off the ground, it didn't go too far. Maybe this was a situationship, so you couldn't exactly explain your feelings to this person, because it wasn't meant to go into a place where feelings were involved. I don't know, sometimes though, those are the worst ones. Like I do remember having a crush on this guy for like 2 months or something, and the connection, whatever, it was situationship really, because we were friends, but I don't know, I guess I just wanted more. But that was the most painful connection I'd ever been, because damn, the betrayal was painful. But it's just like, how could there be betrayal if it was one-sided? I just had very high expectations basically, and it was nothing. I don't even know why I had expectations, but like, I feel like maybe some of you are in a similar situation where you wanted something to happen so bad that it kept escaping you with the Five of Pentacles here, because it wasn't meant to be honest. Or at least not then. Maybe it was meant to teach you a lesson in terms of how to communicate for what you actually desire, so that it can happen in reality. But for whatever reason, every time you spoke up about it, this person was just leaving you in the cold, in the dust. I hate situations like these. But you live and you learn, and blah blah blah, and it does get better, to be honest. It really does. It's just you gotta experience that kind of, and the sooner you do, the earlier in life this happens, the better you deal with it in terms of like how well you can look after yourself again, and then attract someone who is actually on your level. But yeah, I am also picking up on maybe settling vibes here. So like settling for something that was just not enough, receiving crumbs as treats, or receiving something small and then thinking it's actually massive, not allowing yourself to receive the respect you deserve, not allowing yourself to receive the capacity that you actually physically deserve. So making yourself feel small, and then on top of that, well, the circumstances around you not allowing you to become bigger or anything like that. And I don't mean this in an egotistical way, but there are people who, and I was part of them, who just make themselves so small and they accept absolutely anything because people pleasing and all of that jazz. And it's just like, but yeah, I am getting the vibe that this connection was in its baby stages basically. But maybe neither of you were ready for a relationship, to be honest, because it does take two to tango. But if there's false masks on one person, there is usually a false mask on another. And when you are young, you don't know who the hell you are. You really don't, because you're still forming who you want to be and all of that jazz. And to be honest, I'm kind of scared of relationships in general, because it's just the more you grow into yourself, the more you grow beliefs that other people just cannot question. So they can, but at the same time, your boundaries become so firm for yourself that, like, although to be fair, you wouldn't be in a relationship with someone who's constantly trying to push those boundaries and stuff like that. But it's just when you were younger, you're more likely to be deceiving yourself and also deceiving the other person about what you want, because you don't really know what you want and you're going along with the flow. But the flow usually is society telling you this is what you should aspire to, and sometimes you realize that that's not at all what you want in the first place. But yeah, I really do feel like this connection was in the seed stage, in the young stage, but it hurt like a bitch basically. And part of that was potentially because you didn't know how to communicate your needs, or when you tried to communicate your needs, they were shut down instead of met, basically. Sorry, this is painful. Next cards we have are from the Weight Cat Tarot, and we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. Okay. The closure. The closure here is that you can extend the branch, not to this person, I don't believe, but extending a branch to your younger self, I guess, and healing the energies within you that felt like they needed more but they couldn't get more. Hugging yourself, literally, physically too. Well, you know, not, I guess in your imagination too, to be fair, but just helping your younger self understand that what transpired basically. It's not that it was meant to happen, but it's more that I don't want to be mean, but you failed to protect your young self, basically, in that sense. But realistically speaking, it wasn't even you. It was the people around you failed to protect you by letting you, I don't want to say enter into a relationship that was full of deception, but at the same time, I don't know how to word it, to be honest. I am trying to be sympathetic here and also empathetic, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I also don't want to put all of the onus on you, because it's not just you, it's circumstances as well. And it's just like life, basically. But the idea here is, the closure is that you have a better future coming towards you, because you made the attempt to actually, you know, extend the branch to your younger self here. Or you're making the attempt, rather. You're actually extending the branch already, that kind of thing. But it's a physical, you're doing something physical here that is helping you heal from this relationship, basically. And I feel like with this one here, with the Ace of Pentacles, it's changing your behavior, adapting your behavior so that you can actually properly protect yourself. This is giving me similar vibes to Pile 2, but in a completely different way, but more so in the sense that you are, well, I mean, to be honest, all Piles have been helping themselves, and I really genuinely adore that. So at least I can say for the collective that does listen to my readings that we're on a similar vibe. wavelength, vibe, that kind of thing, where there is a lot of healing happening, but it is painful healing, to be honest. So there is that, but you are doing the work basically, and it's very physical work for you as well, especially when it comes to rosy colored glasses and things like that. So breaking from illusions, I want to say here, is important for you, and that's exactly what you've been doing with the Ace of Pentacles. And the Page of Wands is what I'm taking to be the illusion, because Wands energy in general is, it's spirit, it's playful, it's beautiful, but you're doing it, I feel like you're just breaking free from the illusion basically, that for one, other people can and will always be your, what would you even call it, a mirror slash fantasy slash I'm wording this really wrong, but what I'm trying to say is that you're breaking free from that illusion that someone else can be your absolute everything, when you yourself are your everything first and foremost, basically. So you're starting to look after yourself properly, but also breaking the illusion that this someone can be your absolute 100 everything, because they can't. It takes a village to raise a you know, a person. I forgot the saying, but a partner cannot be your absolute everything. They just can't. They physically cannot. That's a lot of work to put on one person, when there are so many people who can be, you know, so many parts. There's so much love to go around basically. There are so many different types of love as well. It's not just the romanticized Western perspective of love, where you have to be like, oh my god, we're gonna run away and we're gonna get married and all of that jazz. What is it, elope? But it's always gonna be you and me against the world. And no, it's not. No one is against you basically. Sorry, this is it's more me learning this myself, and realizing that, again, no one is against anyone basically. The world is not against you. The world is not against your relationship, kind of thing. Maybe they were against this relationship because part of you wasn't even for this relationship either. Maybe, I feel like maybe some of you here knew that this relationship wasn't the best, and you knew that you were settling here with the Ace of Swords in reverse and Five of Pentacles, but you did it anyway because maybe to uphold some kind of tradition at home, or reputation rather, something like that. But you have learned how to navigate through the illusion of what is for you and what is not for you, basically, to see value for what it is with the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles here, to actually value yourself clearly, but also value what is important to you. So finding out what is important to you before you even jump into a relationship where you don't know what's what, basically, or before you even begin to choose another person above yourself. I feel like you've been learning that lesson. Yeah, wow, powerful. Next cards we have are from the Rainbow Tarot, and we have the Knight of Cups in reverse and the Hermit. Okay, the closure, I feel like you've already you haven't had it, I guess, not from this person anyway, maybe, but you kind of found it on your own because you lit up the way for yourself. You did the work on yourself. You read, I don't even know, like, you've done all of the work necessary to actually heal yourself from this relationship, basically, to be the guiding light for people around you. And you didn't do it with I feel like you didn't do it with the help of others, or at least not with the emotional support from other people. So maybe you had to leave some people behind to be able to do that, or you had to face your own inconsistent emotional body, in the sense that maybe you were trying to stuff down your feelings, upside down this card. So maybe you were trying your best to suppress feelings, to suppress the past, to suppress something at the very least. And suppress is the key word, clearly, if I haven't said it enough. But yeah, I feel like you had to face yourself here. You had to face everything in a very clear manner. Again, breaking the rosy colored glasses with the deception stuff here going on. I feel like you stopped deceiving yourself, basically, especially emotionally. You learned how to meet your own needs emotionally, so that, you know, you can actually be a healthy, well, adult, I guess. What is it called? The adult your inner child needs, basically. And I feel like you really did learn how to be that person for yourself, so that you can see yourself clearly, and you can help yourself, and actually heal your emotions, and have the scope to feel a wide range of emotions without actually suppressing them. So feeling anger, but expressing it in a healthy way now, with the Hermit here. Interesting. Feeling more connected with your body too, I want to say, especially your emotional body. Last cards we have are from the normal Rider-Waite, and we have the Eight of Swords, King of Pentacles, and the Tower. Spicy. Okay. If you've been making decisions that weren't serving you, I think you usually got some kind of tower moment, some kind of realization to actually tell you where things weren't working, basically, where things were, well, deceptive again with the Eight of Swords here. Sorry, yeah, Eight of Swords. Because this does also give me deception vibes, not gonna lie. Eight of Swords is usually someone who's deceiving themselves, someone who can get through very easily, who can get out of the blindfold, and also the what do you call it, the wrappings around them, because they're not tightly wound around the person, but also the swords are nowhere near the person. So again, this is mind games that you play with yourself, to be honest, feeling like you can't help yourself when you actually can. I don't mean this to be rude, this is just the actual definition of the tarot card, basically. So yeah, but I feel like you yourself have started tower moments in your own life so that you can free yourself of deceptive energy where you try to deceive yourself, or where for whatever reason you are deceived. Some of you could have Uranus slash Neptune energy in the first house. It could be there currently, or maybe that was what happened when it was in your natal chart. Wow, you know, whatever, because that also does give energy of deception, because other people can put their illusions on you, and then you can be whatever the hell they want to be. They see what they want to see, basically, when they look at you, that kind of thing. So some people have done that to you, which is maybe why the deception card is here as well. It doesn't even have to be a romantic person deceiving you in terms of like wanting to get what they want and not really giving you and breadcrumbing you and stuff like that. For some people, kind of myself included as well, the energy sometimes is that people will constantly project on, I mean, we always project onto other people, but with people with those kinds of placements like Uranus and Neptune specifically, those are powerful planets, but they do focus on a lot of illusion. And I feel like I have been talking about a lot of illusion in this pile. Holy shit. But whatever the case is, you've been creating your own towers because you want to get out of this energy. Well, that's what I'm getting from here anyway. You're creating your peace blissfully. You're becoming someone who is very secure. King energy is, especially Pentacles, it's someone who, it's not that he's a go-getter and he's gonna do the best in his career. That's actually a misconception. It's more that he is comfortable with value. He knows exactly what he wants to have, and he makes it happen because he has realized his value. That's the thing. It's not about chasing monetary abundance at all. It's knowing that there will always be abundance allowed for you. It will always be there to be claimed, but you have to step into your power first. And I feel like that's what you've been doing with the tower. And for some of you, this may mean that the tower came for you anyway because it was time for you to grow up. I don't mean this in a rude way. I just mean it in the sense that your inner child needed someone who could actually protect them, and you realized that yourself. So you became that person, that protector, basically, the person who doesn't allow other people to jump over them, to step on them, to deceive them, basically. So you faced yourself. The closure here is that you've been doing the work on yourself. I mean, every single pile has been, but I feel like every pile has had a specific thing, and yours is your value, basically. Learning how to value yourself accordingly and not accept crumbs, quite frankly. Not deceiving yourself, not actually making yourself small, actually growing into your power, basically. Some of you may have Scorpio placements here with the tower, or Aries as well, because this is Mars energy. And then some of you could be Virgos, Capricorn, and what's the other earth sign? Taurus as well. Honestly, the actual star sign doesn't really matter that much, to be honest, but there is a lot of water and and earth energy here in general. But yeah, you've been stepping into your power here. So the connection, the what this has taught you, basically, the closure here is that you are the, I was gonna say rich bitch, but you know, you are the it person kind of thing. You've created a mentality for yourself that you're secure in, especially where it comes to your own value system. You want what you want and you'll get it. And I don't mean this in a rude way. I mean that you know how to work for it. You know when to step back, when to give more, when to create, basically. You've learned how to create for yourself without deceiving yourself as well. So taking up your, filling your boots, the boots that you wanted to fill in the first place, you can do that now. So it's a bit, it's giving me a bit Cinderella energy, in the sense that you can step into that glass slipper because it's ultimately yours. And you've learned how to step into your power with the King of Pentacles here. It's yours for the taking. It always was yours, but for whatever reason, I feel like you made yourself, you deceived yourself, and played small, like a second row or some kind of thing. So maybe this was a connection where you weren't first, where you kept being put as second best, and maybe this was some type of thing where that kept repeating itself in your entire life, to be honest. For some people, again, this has happened to me too, so I'm not just being a weirdo speaking stuff, but but yeah, you've learned how to choose yourself first, and how to fill up your own cup, but also your own boots. That sounds the weirdest way to put it, but yeah, you can step into the shoe now, and you know who you are. You can look after your inner child properly, basically. And some of you, sorry, all of you, you don't let the towers deter you anymore. You actually make you let them fuel you forward instead, into prosperity. So yeah, this is what I have for you. I hope that was clear, and I'll see you in the next one, or the previous one. But yeah, see you.